Deep down in the soft brown soil, in a cozy little nook just right for a seed, lived Pip. The world above was a mystery, a place of whispers and shifting light. But down here it was quiet and safe and warm. Pip spent its days dreaming, not of the dark and the quiet, but of the world above. Pip dreamed of the sun, of soft breezes, and most of all, Pip dreamed of color. Oh, how Pip wanted to be colorful. From up above, Pip had heard stories carried by the worms and the water. Stories of a flower with petals as red as a shiny ladybug, and another with a coat as purple as a twilight shadow. Pip's biggest dream was to grow up and be the most colorful, wonderful flower the garden had ever seen. But for now, Pip was just a little seed, tucked away in the dark, waiting. One day, a change began. A gentle, pattering sound came from above. It was rain, seeping down, down, down into the earth. The soil around Pip became soft and damp. It wasn't scary damp, though. It was a cozy, welcoming damp, like a warm drink on a cool morning. The water woke something up inside of Pip. A little nudge, a little push. A feeling that it was time to stop just dreaming about growing and to actually start growing. But growing, Pip soon learned, was not a fast thing. It was a slow, patient thing. First, a tiny little root began to wriggle out from Pip's side. It pushed down, down into the damp earth, searching for a drink. It was hard work. Pip wanted to see the sun now. Pip wanted to be colorful now. But the little root needed to be strong first. So Pip had to be patient. It was a tricky feeling, this waiting. After what felt like a very long time, another new feeling began. A tiny green shoot started to push from Pip's top. Up it wanted to go. Up toward the light. Pushing through the heavy soil was even harder than growing a root. The dirt was dark and thick. Sometimes Pip felt like giving up. It was so much work, and for what? All Pip could see was darkness. But Pip remembered the dream of color and sunshine. So with a great deal of patience, the little shoot kept pushing. It pushed past a sleepy worm. It pushed past a smooth gray stone. And then something miraculous happened. The darkness began to get lighter. It turned from black to deep gray to a soft, fuzzy, greenish light. Pip pushed with all its might, and with one final, patient wriggle, pop! The chute burst out into the open air. The world was so bright, Pip had to blink its tiny tip, getting used to the wonderful golden light. It was the sun. It felt so warm and friendly on Pip's green skin. Pip looked around. Oh, the garden was more beautiful than any dream. Tall, smiling sunflowers waved hello. Fuzzy bumblebees buzzed a happy tune. And everywhere there was color. But when Pip looked down at itself, a little worry wiggled inside. Everyone else was so colorful. The sunflower was a bright, brilliant yellow. The rose bush had flowers of a deep, velvety red. The lavender was a soft, gentle purple. But Pip? Pip was just green. The same green as the stems and the leaves all around. Where was Pip's special color? Was this it? Just green? Pip felt a little sad. Being green was nice, but it wasn't the dream. The dream was to be colorful. Pip wanted to be like the bright yellow dandelion, shining like a little sun. Or like the pretty pink tulip standing so tall and proud. Would Pip ever be anything more than a green shoot? A friendly ladybug, her shell as red as a shiny apple, crawled onto a leaf nearby. She seemed to sense Pip's disappointment. She didn't speak, of course, but she stayed there for a long time, as if to say, "Just you wait. Good things take time." It was another lesson in patience. Pip decided to try. To be patient. To enjoy being green. And you know what? Pip discovered that green was a pretty wonderful color after all. It was the color of the juicy, crunchy cucumber growing on a vine. It was the color of the soft, velvety moss by the garden path. Pip's green stem grew stronger and taller, and little leaves unfurled from its sides. The leaves were a brighter, lighter green, and they loved to soak up the sunshine. Maybe, just maybe, being green wasn't so bad. Days passed. The sun shone, the rain fell, and Pip grew. Pip practiced being patient every single day. Then one morning, something new happened. Right at the very top of Pip's green stem, a little lump began to form. It was a small, tight green bundle. Pip wasn't sure what it was. Was it a new leaf? It felt different. It felt special. The little green bundle got bigger and bigger. It was hard and round. Pip was curious. What could be growing up there? Pip had to be extra patient now. This was the biggest mystery yet. One morning, after a night of gentle rain, the sun rose especially bright. Its warm rays touched the little green bundle at the top of Pip's stem, and under the warm golden light, the hard green outside of the bundle began to slowly peel back. It was happening. Something was inside. What could it be? What was hiding inside the green bundle? Pip held perfectly still, feeling the gentle peeling and unfolding. It was a feeling of wonderful, quiet excitement. As the green shell fell away, something soft and new was revealed. It was a color! But it wasn't the green of leaves and stems. This was a new, beautiful, bright color. It was the color of sunshine itself. It was the color of the happy, buzzing bees. It was the color of the friendly dandelion. It was a brilliant, beautiful yellow. Pip had a yellow center, a soft, fuzzy, sun-shaped circle of the most gorgeous yellow Pip had ever seen. It was gleaming in the morning light. Oh, it was wonderful. Pip was so happy. All that patience had paid off. Pip wasn't just green anymore. Pip was green and yellow. The little seed was starting to become a flower. But the story wasn't over. Pip's patient waiting had brought one miraculous surprise. Would there be more? Pip looked up at the sky, feeling the warm sun on its new yellow center, and felt a new, happy kind of patience. The good kind, the kind that is full of hope. And do you know what? Pip's hope was right. As the days went by, tiny little spears of a new color began to grow in a circle around the bright yellow center. At first, they were so small you could hardly see them, but they grew and grew and grew, unfurling slowly and gracefully. They were not red. They were not purple. They were the most delicate, gentle, pretty color Pip had ever seen. It was the color of a fluffy cloud at sunset. It was the color of a baby's giggle. It was the color of cotton candy at a fair. They were beautiful, soft, pink petals. Pip the little seed had done it. Through patience and quiet self-discovery, Pip had grown into a beautiful flower. A flower with a strong green stem, a bright, sunshiny yellow center, and lovely, soft pink petals all around. Pip was finally everything it had dreamed of being. It was colorful. It was beautiful. And it had learned the most important lesson of all. The most beautiful colors weren't out in the garden somewhere else. They were hidden inside all along, just waiting for a little time, a little sunshine, and a whole lot of patience to help them bloom. The other flowers in the garden nodded happily in the breeze. They had known all along what was inside the little seed. The bees buzzed around Pip's yellow center, collecting sweet pollen. The ladybug came back for a visit, crawling onto a pink petal as if to say, "I told you so." Pip stood tall and proud, a gleaming mix of green, yellow, and pink, the most patient and beautiful flower in the whole garden. And as the moon rose, casting a silver light over the petals, Pip began to dream a new dream. A dream of what other miraculous things might happen tomorrow. Perhaps a friendly butterfly would come to visit, but that is a story for another day. Moral: true beauty comes from within, and discovering it requires patience and believing in yourself.